What is this class all about? So this is the course description. So this is a survey of software. That means that we're going to look at different softwares. And the two softwares are Illustrator and InDesign. We're going to focus on Illustrator. And we're going to learn fundamental concepts, practices, and theories of digital art production. Students will explore the creative and artistic potential of introductory software and experience how each one relates to today's artistic and digital media environment. Topics will include the integration of traditional design, color, and composition principles with contemporary digital tools. What does that mean? It means that we're going to use some software and we're going to learn some professional practices that graphic designers use to illustrate and build a really interesting project. Does that make sense? The projects that I've designed for my curriculum and courses are to anticipate using them in a portfolio. My goal is that every project that you produce in a class of mine will be a portfolio piece. And in the end, I hope that you have more than you need and you start saying, I don't want to use that one, I don't want to use that one. But I don't believe in nonsensical assignments. I like practical and tangible exercises that communicate your skill level effectively. These are the student learning outcomes. So you'll notice, I don't know if you've looked at other syllabus that instructors give you. They should have these on their syllabus. This is called the student learning outcomes. So this is what we're communicating to the state of California that we're trying to teach you. This is actually the most important information on this document. So this is what you're supposed to walk away with at the end of this course. Okay, so what is the student learning outcome for the first one? Demonstrate basic skills of professional software hardware currently used by graphic designers and fine artists. So the hardware is the workstation, possibly tablets, and the software is Illustrator, okay? So you're going to demonstrate skills that professionals would use using this technology. Student learning outcome, the student will demonstrate a basic knowledge of digital terminology currently used by professional graphic designers and fine artists. So we will have we'll have numerous conversations about digital terms. There's a vocabulary that we use, and we are going to learn what those terms mean and how to apply it to our projects. And we'll have a quiz towards the end of the quarter that basically assesses how well you captured that information, okay? So the last student learning outcome, exhibit a critical understanding of the performance of the design process through directed laboratory discussions. So the performance, it's a fancy word. It means that you will actually make something. You will make something based on the conversations we are having, right? So that's basically what it's saying there. So I know that sounds like a bunch of gibberish, but the reality is there's an idea behind these statements, and that basically we're trying to prepare you to communicate as a designer, work with software like a designer, and produce content like a designer. Okay, so that's really the goal of the class. You'll notice that for software I have Photoshop on here. The reason I have Photoshop is that some of you who know Photoshop may want to doctor your images a little bit before we use them as a blueprint or a reference for your illustration, and that's okay. So if you want to doctor your image, maybe it's too dark and you want to brighten it a little bit before you use it, you're welcome to do that. But I am not going to teach Photoshop. Okay, I will teach Illustrator and InDesign. I do not have a formal book. I think somebody emailed me and they said, do you have a book? I don't have a book for this class, but I do have resources that I recommend. The book that I recommend is called, I think it might be on the next line. It's by Peach Pit Press, and it's called the Adobe Illustrator Quick Start Guide. If you're looking for another publication, Adobe puts out a series called A Classroom in a Book. So there's an Adobe Illustrator Classroom in a Book. But what I really like as a designer are publications such as How, CMYK, or Print. And these publications have a lot of industry articles and essays that describe the design process or expectations within the industry. If you're looking for online resources for graphic design stuff, lynda.com is a pay-as-you-go. I don't know if they have like a special rate for De Anza students. Do you know, Diego? You don't know? I heard somewhere that maybe there was, but lynda.com has pay-by-you-go stuff. Abduzidu is kind of this obscure website that has inspirational work and tutorials. Behance has inspirational work. The Font is a website where you can download free fonts. There's like probably 100,000 fonts on there by this point. Getty Images is a stock house, meaning you can find images if you want. And then any online touch or videos, I would recommend that. The best resource I actually don't have on this syllabus. Do you guys know what the best resource is? Not me. It's not me. I'm not the best resource. I'm not there 24 hours a day. What is available to you 24 hours a day where you could go online and have somebody explain how to make a logo to you? YouTube. YouTube is the best resource for just about anything at this point, I believe. I'm not saying it's the only resource. I think it's the best resource outside of this classroom. Like I said, I'm going to post my videos as well, but there are other resources out there. I'm not naive or in denial about that, and you should explore them. You should seek them out. So when I'm trying to find something that I forgot how to do, I go to YouTube. That's the first place I go. Okay? So let's see here. Attendance policy. Where did that go? Okay, so 2 late arrivals equals 1 absence. Missing 30 minutes or more of class constitutes an absence. So I have somebody to drop. A student may be dropped from class after 4 absences. A student may be dropped for missing more than 1 class during the first 2 weeks of the quarter. For an excused absence, please contact the instructor. So you'll notice that I do give out excused absences. You see that? But do I tell you what an excused absence is? Do I say what it is? No. Why do you think I didn't say what it is? Because it varies. It depends. So I want to be flexible with you. But I think that if you sat here for about 10 seconds and thought, what would the instructor allow as an excused absence? I think we probably would all know what those things are, right? So I'm not going to point them out to everybody, but going to a concert is not an excused absence. Waking up late is not an excused absence. But if something really big happens in your life that takes you away from this class, that's life, and I understand that, and I will work with you. Does that make sense? Okay, but you'll need to talk to me about that. This is the grading scale. You'll notice that there is two grading scales. This is the final grading scale. De Anza does not have C minuses, D pluses, or D minuses. I don't know why, but there's a little bit of a variation there, okay? The grading policy. This is what the grades are determined by. Right here. So you have a pop quiz worth 15% of your grade. Remember I said there's going to be words and vocabulary tied to this class. So there's a pop quiz towards the end of the quarter. Projects, there's 2 of them that we're currently doing, or that I currently have designed. That equals 55% of your grade. There are a bunch of homework assignments. That's 20% of your grade. And then we also have group discussions worth 10% of your grade. I hope that adds up to 100. Does that add up to 100? 30, 45. Yeah, that's 100, right? I think so. I hope it's right. I just changed it. That's why I'm a little concerned. All right, so if you get below a B minus on a project, I give students the opportunity to continue to work on it and refine it until it's a B minus. I will only give you a B minus. I'm not going to give you an A. But let's say you really tried, but it just didn't work, and I'm struggling. I'm really trying, Marco. Can you please give me another chance? There's your other chance right there. Okay. So I want everybody to be successful, and I think a B minus is success. Has success in mind. So if something happens where life gets in the way, I'm willing to work with you to get you to a B minus. Only projects that are turned in on time can opt for an updated grade. Exercises and projects. Students will receive handouts and examples for every project. Handouts will include a project outline, expectations, milestones, and due dates. So all the projects have due dates on them.